I'm Michelle,
And I'm Ronald,
and this is Talking Squirrels.
the middle school ministry podcast. Michelle, how you doing? Welcome back from camp.
Thank you. I am doing well. I'm over the camp hangover a bit. It was great. We had a great time. It was really fun hanging out with high schoolers. Don't get to do that too often, but they're great. It's fun seeing some of them that have like grown up and now they're graduated.
Oh,
I know.
so this was you just going to visit high school camp for a little bit with since you promoted at the beginning of the summer, you're now hanging out with the freshmen who just recently were 8th graders, right?
Yeah, so this was kind of just so that they knew somebody that was up there and so that they
Yeah.
got more comfortable with the other high schoolers.
I love that.
Yeah, but it was also so some of our leaders, because they work, right, couldn't come up right away. So I kind of help in the meantime until they can get there, like on Friday night or something like that.
Oh, so you got to fill in the gap and also be useful rather than just go for your sake.
Just eating food. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, really, who's going to camp to eat food?
everyone. Our food
What
is
can you-
delicious.
Is it really?
Oh, we do bomb food. So we
Oh.
make it all.
Oh, okay. Well,
So we
there's
do our
the
own camp. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go to a college campus and we eat whatever the buffet has.
Yeah, see, no one goes for that.
No. So that's why I was so confused about why you were hyping camp food.
Oh, yeah. Our
'Cause-
camp food is delicious.
There you go.
It's
Okay.
made
No.
by mom and everything.
Oh.
Yeah. So you know it's good. It's like a home cooked quality meal.
Maybe we should do an entire episode on camp food. You down?
I would be so down.
Okay. Maybe. Okay. In the future, camp food, Talking Squirrels. I'm in.
You know what oddly has some really good food though?
Uh-oh. What?
So we do snacks for Vacation Bible School.
Really?
Yeah.
So
And
you get,
they're so creative and we eat the snacks so often.
oh, so the snack, when you do Vacation Bible School, you have people who make snacks. Do they do the
Yeah.
themed snacks?
They
It looks
try
like
and
North
tie
Ark.
it in, but mostly it's just kind of like whatever they want to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so it ends up being are these the snacks for the kids? Are these snacks for the adult
It's supposed
helpers?
to be snacks for the kids.
But the helpers are like, hey, let's get in on this.
Oh yeah, we usually have to tell especially the high schoolers stop eating the kids' food,
That's
and then
hilarious.
we go eat it.
These rules are for other people. I just want to let you know.
It's good to be the adult in these situations.
Okay, so but with VBS, you've got high schoolers and middle schoolers who are helping out with that.
Yeah, they make up 50% of our volunteers for our summer VBS.
50%?
Yeah, we have a huge leader just culture within our student ministries.
Yeah.
And so every Sunday morning they're leading the charge in running kids programs as well.
Oh, so they don't just help out during VBS, they help out all the time.
They're constantly helping on Sundays.
See, I love that mentality because it's going to really help set up students for the future, when they're not in youth ministry, when they go to college and stuff. I love
That's
that.
the hope. You know?
That's
A
what
lot
we're
of
trying.
them, I don't know if your guys' schools out there do this, but ours have, they have to have service hours.
Yep.
Yeah, so we know that's a big part of it, but it's really cool seeing once they have their hours, they just keep doing it.
So you guys let your middle school kids serve during VBS too.
Oh, absolutely.
What kind of jobs do you give your middle school students during VBS?
One of the big ones is, so we call it the Hype Crew. And
Hype Crew.
it is Hype Crew. And they're in charge of leading worship up on the stage.
Yeah.
And doing all the dance moves and things like that. So that's kind of a new thing we just started last year.
Oh, how'd it work?
It was awesome. I got to be in charge, partly in charge of it with a co-leader, and our students just loved doing it. And then the kids loved having people up front, leading things, and they were kind of these cool kids who they wanted to take photos with us after, and it was so cute because they're kind of rock stars in that sense, right?
Oh, to an elementary school kid?
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, right. And so that's a really big one that is kind of the coveted spot.
Yeah.
And then they're also small group leaders. They run games. Basically, whatever they want to do, they can be a leader in. So they run tech, they help with crafts, snacks, everything.
So I'm really not surprised at all that you are heading up the hype crew. That makes perfect sense.
It's so much fun. I love it.
No, that's awesome. And so these are middle school students
Hmm.
pouring into kids.
Yeah, and they
Okay.
love like they love being on stage and being looked at.
Oh, sure.
So we talk about that a lot. We talk about humility. We talk about
Hey, guy.
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But they're just like it's so much fun. Like, and they talk about it all year.
Uh-huh. So help me out with something then. You guys promote at the beginning of summer, right?
Mhm. Yes,
So what about the ones who just became middle school students? Are they serving?
they are serving. So they usually will serve
Cool.
as like junior leaders.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so they usually will work with like one of the high schoolers or one of the other adult leaders, so that they learn, right? So then by the time that they're going into seventh grade, they can become, either one of the main leaders or just a better leader in
Yeah.
that sense.
Okay. So they get like a year of trying to figure things out,
Yes.
where they're partnered with somebody, and
Hmm.
then the next year they're like, okay, now we set you free.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Unless they're in like hype crew, then they just join hype crew.
Mm, then you
Uh,
just hype it.
there's hype crew because they're like crazy and they just want to dance.
What about, okay, so when you're doing this, like, do you have like meetings with your children's coordinator, director, or pastor to like get it all set up? How does like the application process look when you are having middle school students get ready to serve at VBS? What does the onboarding process look like?
It's about the same as what we would do for adults. They go and
Mm,
they just sign up online. And then they
okay,
choose a couple of like things that they want to be involved in. So like they have like a list of like all the activities, and then they
right.
choose a couple, and then one of the other leaders goes and places them.
Sometimes ignoring completely what they chose and putting
Yes.
them where they need to serve.
And the fun thing is like so the person who is like setting them up, they know these students because they're one of our leaders.
Oh,
So she
yeah.
serves with us on Tuesday nights as a small group leader, and so she totally knows a lot of these kids.
Bring it.
And so she was like, "Yeah, I'm absolutely not placing you there."
Oh, you might want to go there. Sorry.
Yeah, she's like, "You may want to do that, but I know that you're gonna do so much better with, like, this person or, like, you're gonna work a lot
Mhm.
better with, you know, this leader," and stuff like that, so they
Do
do
you
really good.
do you have to remind the students sometimes during the week, like, hey, I know you're having fun with your friends and all, but you're here to serve?
Oh, absolutely. We have such an amazing group of guys that serve on our games team, and they've done it for the past 3 years now.
Oh, they are at squad.
They're like, they all signed up for camp together as well,
Yeah,
5 minutes apart from each other because they had their moms call each other
that's awesome.
to sign up, like, right away. But so, like, we constantly, we go over and like, "Hey, guys, how's it going?" We're like, "Remember, this is for the kids." Like,
Right.
you guys can
It,
totally
you
play after and play with them, but make sure you're putting the kids first.
like it's cool to hang, but you're here for this purpose.
Yeah, and most of our students are really really good about it.
Well, I was going to ask them. So, what do your adults normally think of your student leaders? Like, what's
Most,
the feedback you get from them?
yeah, I know, right? Most of them, I've only really ever heard like the good things about it.
Sweet.
From some of them that are like, "Hey, like this person, oh, yeah, they did so great. It was so fun having, Avery serve or Nicole serve."
Hmm.
Um, but then, I hear from the sidelines of like, "Oh my gosh, this person sucked." And part of
Not
me is like,
so.
yeah, I kind of expected that.
I'm not
Like
surprised.
certain students that are like their parents forcing them to like serve,
I do know
do
those
something over
students.
the summer.
Mm.
Yeah, we kind of expected that, but so
VBS is also Vacation Bible School for the parents.
oh, for sure.
So if they get their children and their teens out of the house for a little bit, win-win.
Right? My favorite is
Mm.
when the parents are like, "So pickups at 3, right?" And we're like, "No, 12."
Oh my goodness! Please tell me you've never had a parent show up at 3 o'clock.
Oh, we've had them show up pretty late because we like couldn't get a hold of them, and so we had the student hang out,
how
like we had the kid
how
hang out with us,
convenient that you can't get a hold of them.
right? They like
Oh
thought it
man.
was like a whole day, and we only do half days. Um,
Mm.
but
Yeah,
so
we
you
do.
guys just finished yours though.
Yeah, no, I'm asking you all of this stuff because you're going to do your VBS. We just finished ours, and I love it. I absolutely love it. My favorite part of VBS, like you said, we kind of have the same thing. We have all of our students doing everything.
It's
So
the best.
they work by going around to the different stations, kind of like you would, I guess, normally expect a VBS to do.
Right.
But even like we even take like the Bible story and the teaching, and those are all different sections as well.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
So we have sixth graders who what we call crew guides
Excellent.
leading these like 3 and 4 year old groups.
Adorable.
So like they are the ones who are leading, and sometimes we have adults who are in there to like be the helpers, but the
Right.
students are in charge.
That's really cool.
So it works out to where on one end we get to like put some um, of the leadership burden really mainly on the students until the adults like, hey, you're here to help, which is
Right.
pretty cool.
Hey, I'm here as you need as I'm needed, right?
Yep. Honestly, okay. So your job during VBS is be with the hype crew. That sounds fun. I like my job better.
Wait, was is yours to like just oversee?
My job is to encourage the students.
Amazing.
And so what we talking about VBS food, we actually have so there's snacks that the kids go to. They have snack time, and they have like the rotation of leaders and adults who are in there helping with snacks all the time. Then we also have what's called the hospitality room.
Yes.
The
Yep.
hospitality room is leaders only.
Yep. We have something similar.
And so what happens is all the students all day long will siphon or like filter through the hospitality room. So if I want to be in a space that's guaranteed to see every single student throughout the day, it's the hospitality room.
So you
So the
just
high
get to
school,
sit by the food.
heck yes. So the high school pastor and the other student pastor and I get accused of like, you guys just hang out here and eat. I'm like, go ask the children's pastor what our job is. She will tell you it's to be in this room and encourage students. Like,
Oh, that's amazing.
so that's our literal job. Okay. I love listening to the sixth graders, the ones who are serving for the first time,
It's the best.
because they are saying things like, I like day one, and it was perfect. This student comes up to me and says, Ronald, this group is so crazy. They don't listen. They've got so much energy. They're insane. And I'm just like looking at him with like the biggest smile on my face. I'm like, oh, really? Tell me more about
Shocking.
this. It took him about 3 seconds, and he was like, oh, I get it. Okay, yeah, you're talking about me. Like, yeah,
It
I
finally
am
clicked.
talking about you. It was just like it's really cool. I love watching students serve. They always do a fantastic job, but it's also really cool for them to be like, oh, this is what it's like.
Hmm.
Kind of like seeing what it's like to be their small group leader. I love it.
It's so fun when they finally make that connection too. They're like, oh, that's
And
me.
it's like, right. No. And so we make a big deal out of serving for VBS. We actually mandate it for our mission trip.
Oh, awesome.
So like if you're going on mission trip, you have to serve as a VBS crew guide.
Ooh,
And
I
so
like that.
that we have crafts and we have snacks and we have, all these different areas that they can serve in. But we tell them if you're going on mission trip, you have to serve as your first choice crew guide in charge of a group.
That's
To
really interesting. I really like that.
to get like the leadership experience, to get the team mentality experience. And it's fantastic. Like my kids, like you're saying, kids always look up to them. Like my
Hmm.
kids come home talking about the students.
Yep.
And that's the feedback we get from the children's ministry team too, is like the adults are great. Like we're really glad we have adults who are helping, but like the children think the students are rock stars.
Yeah, they just like love them and they just connect with them.
Yeah. And so like my kids, because we just finished up VBS, they have their pictures on the wall next to their beds, and like, this was my leader right here. And so like
Oh, that's so
now,
cute.
and so for me, like it's huge as a dad to watch students pouring into my kids, but it's also really cool to watch my students pouring into all of these kids,
Yeah.
and getting to know adults that they're partnered with. Like for me, I think it's such a huge win to have your
Oh,
middle schoolers
absolutely.
serving in VBS rather than have like the separate youth VBS where like your kids don't ever interact with the children at all. I love having our students serve. It's fantastic.
I think it's so important.
Okay, so was this already going on when you got there? Like, was this kind of the DNA, or did you need to like help push students into serving during VBS?
No, this was already here when I came in. Because this is their 5th year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We call it summer XP,
Yeah.
or summer experience, summer XP. And we do it from Orange.
Yep. Yep. We
Yeah,
do. We
so
do. We do group, but yeah, it's the same. It's VBS in a box. Same kind of
Yeah,
deal.
literally handmade VBS.
Yep.
And so yeah, I think this is their fifth year doing this one, and it's just been such a huge hit for our church and for our community.
So if you were trying to convince then a middle school pastor of like the best things about having middle school students serving during VBS, and you were going to say, hey, you need to go have this conversation with your children's director, like what would be some things you would tell that middle school pastor?
Oh man, um, with the for the kids person, or
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, middle school pastor, this is what, write down these notes and take them to the children's pastor and say, this is why you need middle school students serving in VBS.
oh, whew. If you want your kids to come back and serve, you need to have middle school serving now,
Mm,
so that they then see their middle school and high schoolers serving and are like, I can't wait to be one of them.
yes.
Right?
No,
I
I
remember
love that.
even when I was at camp and I was like, man, I just can't wait to become a staffer, or I couldn't wait to become, what a high school person was. And
Oh, heck
it's the
yeah.
same for VBS. Those kids are looking up at those students and are like, man, I can't wait to become one of them. And that's a
Yeah.
huge, huge point. I think as well, I would go and be like, hey, this is a huge touch point for our middle school and high school pastor,
Hmm.
for them to go and actually, see these students serving and see them every day for 5 days straight in the summer that we normally don't ever see them because they're
Yeah.
usually traveling. And this is like a huge part of our ministry, is getting them to learn how to serve even.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Learning how to serve is huge, and like putting that into your church's DNA
Hmm.
of you can serve at this young age so
Yeah.
that you can serve throughout the rest of your like life as a Christian, as a member of the church. It's a huge deal.
Yeah. I think they even see it as like, hey, this is my church. This is where I
Yeah.
serve.
Oh no, totally. And then if you need to add in as a asterisk down the bottom, plus all my kids need a whole bunch of service hours,
Yep.
and this is a great way great way to get them in.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was really blessed the same way that was a part of our church DNA when I got here. But like they really step it up. Like they have trainings that happen before VBS. And I even sat down with our children's pastor this year and said, okay, we might need to have a specific training for our sixth and seventh grade students, not because like they're slacking or anything, but just because it's their first year.
Yeah.
And so
That was a
I have
conversation we had this year too, of like, hey, do we need to do a different training for like our students?
Yeah, because I think there might be something that they need to learn there. Just might some vision casting.
Yeah.
Because the adult is like, oh, I get it. VBS, introducing kids to Jesus, 100%. Like maybe that student might need a little bit of more help connecting those dots, especially the concrete thinker, right?
Oh yeah.
So trying to we've got a whole list of notes of debrief stuff. There's some things on my desk right now that I'm looking at for this next year.
Awesome.
Student ministry team and children's team are going to sit down and do some more brainstorming on this. So I'm excited about that. That's going to be cool.
I think that debrief part is really big too.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. So not just do the event,
Yeah.
not just have students serve during VBS, but
Yeah.
letting them come back and say, okay, what went well? What do we need to fix? In fact, one thing that we fixed this year, which was a huge win, we have our tech team. Every VBS has like the morning, the first, yay, here's your big celebration, and
Yeah.
then at the end, like, yay, everybody go home.
The massive parties.
Yeah, we had students serving on the tech team that sandwiched that, but then they didn't have a job in between. And
Yeah.
so we had students not doing anything
We
for a
learned that
couple of
last
days.
year.
That's bad. And so we said, okay, everybody, if you're on AV, you have to be a crew guide to go in and have a job someplace else too. And we try to be crew guide or maybe someplace else. Total win, but that came from debriefing last year.
Yeah, we found that out last year too, where we had one student that would just like run around the church.
Like,
We're like,
you
where
need
are
a
you
job.
supposed to be?
Like, I've already done my thing. Like, yeah,
Yep.
you need a job that lasts all day.
Oh yeah, and I feel like usually tech ones are like the ones that like cause trouble too, and I'm like, we need you not there,
Yeah, there's a reason that's a stereotype.
right?
Oh man, dude, okay. So I'm still in VBS hangover mode, but I still love it so much, and I'm definitely excited to hear about how it goes for you this year as you guys are planning to get ready for it.
Yeah, I'm super bummed because I had to take a step down this year just because of the wedding and planning. And we actually are going to a wedding halfway through the VBS. But I'm excited because I get
Um,
to teach this year
oh,
for
that'd
one
be
of our
cool.
days. So that'll be
Yeah,
fun.
I definitely want to hear how that goes.
Oh, me too.
Hey, I want to hear how that. Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening on our conversation on VBS. I hope that you have a fire underneath you about getting your middle school students to serve in your children's ministry, whether that's VBS or weekly or whatever form that might look like. It's a huge win for your church, for your middle school ministry, and for your children's ministry. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Talk to us on Instagram and Facebook. We are there.
Do it.
Yeah. Hey, you guys are fantastic. Thanks so much for listening. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.